Hey guys. So yesterday we were starting some idea generating for personal essays. We'll talk more about what a personal essay does and how to write one later. But right now we have to find ideas. So this week we're spending um, doing several activities to generate ideas. Yesterday we watched Miranda Lambert's video for The House That Built Me, and we talked about what she does in that song, which is go back to a childhood home and walk through the house. And in each room of the house, she reflects on some memory that she has. But I also jotted down some of the lines that I really liked. And I mentioned these yesterday. She said, I thought if I could touch this place so freely, this brokenness inside of me might start healing. She also said, I thought that maybe I could find myself if she came home. Um, she also said, I got lost in this old world and forgot who I am. So a lot about thinking about going home to a childhood space is thinking about who we are, the things that we've learned from our experiences, um, and figuring out why our memories are important. But first, we got to find the memories. So one way to do that is to use Miranda Lambert's song as inspiration and sketch out a floor plan of a house that we spent some time in. Remember, this might be the house that you lived in. Maybe you've moved several times, so you want to think about picking one house where you have pretty strong memories. Maybe you want to pick a place with positive memories. Maybe you have a place that has some negative memories. Either is okay. Um, we just need to pick one. Okay. You might even pick a grandparent's house. Or I said yesterday that I might even do my cousin's house because I spent a lot of time with her in middle school at sleepovers and things at her house. But the house that I did was the house that I lived in from about eighth grade through my sophomore year of high school. And it's not a pretty sketch. The purpose is not drawing something beautiful. It's just thinking through memories. So remember, here's my floor plan. This was our kitchen. Our washer and dryer were in the kitchen. I've sketched out where some cabinets were just so I can remember that space. The door was here where we walked in. We had kitchen cabinets here. This is our living room. Our couch was about here. There was a window over here. Our TV sometimes was over here. Sometimes it was here. Um, the back door, I told you that it wouldn't stay shut. It would blow open all the time. So we had to put an ottoman in front of it that was usually piled with laundry. The bathroom was here. There were train tracks outside the window. You could be in the bathroom on the toilet and look out the window at the train tracks. Um, and then I sketched just upstairs. This is the staircase. My sister's room was over here, and my room was over here. Um, as I think about walking through this house, there's lots of details that I could record. Like we had attic ceilings in these rooms, which always made it feel kind of spooky. And you can see over here, I had this really old antique dresser that didn't have a very good mirror. And there was a window over here. And I have my room, vampires. Um, I was 12, 13 years old, and I was reading lots of scary stories and vampire stories. And I would always have this feeling that there was something behind me. But you know that there's a mirror here, right? And the story about vampires is they don't have reflections. So when I would get ready in the morning, I would like have this creepy feeling and then turn around to look out the window to see if there's a vampire floating behind me. I know it's goofy, but just by tracing my room, I remembered that, right? We had an organ here that had belonged to my great grandma. So just remembering that makes me think about my great grandma. And even though the memories of my great grandma aren't in this house, I can remember so much about even being in my great grandma's house. I might even go sketch her house because there's going to be different memories there. I have a little stick horse here. That represents the time that I brought a pony right into our kitchen. Um, yeah, it didn't go over well with my mom, but I walked him right into the kitchen there by the washer and dryer. Our washer and dryer are important. We had well water. So if you know much about well water, it has a lot of iron in it and minerals. And so our water ran orange a lot of the time. And my clothes those years, because they were washed in well water, had kind of a yellow tinge on them, which is a story I could tell. There's lots to talk about our well water. I wrote right by the kitchen table, my stepdad. My mom was married very briefly to my stepdad, Jim. He drank a lot of Wild Turkey, which is a whiskey, and I could write about that experience and how it was concerning to me. It also played a big role in why my mom and my stepdad divorced. I also have Vietnam conversations because Jim was a Vietnam veteran, so I could write about the stories that he told me. I have an arrow going off of Jim with the word Kathy disappearing. His daughter disappeared for a while. She was a missing person for about a week. Everything turned out okay, but it was a really, really scary time. So that's something I could write about. I also told you yesterday about the mice we had and the snakes that were probably hanging out in the registers in that house. There's a lot of description about this house too. So I want us to add to what we did yesterday. You just watched me walk through this house that I lived in and think about the memories that I had there, and just jot some words down, because having the words on this map makes it so that when I go to write, I can look back at this and pick one. Okay. And that's something that we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to be writing from our home map. I'm also going to post a video that talks about neighborhood maps in our agenda, which I'm going to show you here really quickly. It's going to take a second to load here. But in our agenda for class today, there's a picture of a neighborhood map. And if you click on this picture, you can look at it more closely. This is from the beginning of a book from Ralph Fletcher. It's called Marshfield Dreams. And the book starts with this map where he's thinking back to when he was maybe 9-10 years old, to the area where he lived. So if you want to do a map of the outdoors, you could, again, pick a neighborhood that you lived in. If you've lived in a subdivision or a neighborhood. I grew up on a farm, so I usually draw the farm when I do this. And in fact, in the video that I'm going to post, you can see the picture that I've sketched of the farm. It doesn't look nearly as pretty as this, but you'll see that, like on my memory map for my house, I have just lots of words that are reminders of things that happened. So yeah, he just maps places, but for every place on his map, he has a story. Okay. Send me a message in Google Classroom if you have a question. You can send me an email. I'll be back online with you at the beginning of class on Thursday, but I'll have to leave. Sorry, I'll be back with you at the beginning of class on Wednesday, but I'll have to leave about 15 minutes into the class, and I can answer any questions you have then. I hope you have a good afternoon, and I hope this helped thinking through how you might do your own map. Okay, take care. I'll see you tomorrow.